Yeah, that's the trading symbol.
Trading symbol.
Yeah,
so when you're standing in front of a court and you look at the judge and you see that symbol behind the judge, you know that you're standing in a court of trade and commerce. It's not a real court.
That's right, that's right.
So
yes.
that's the first thing you have to know, is that symbol represents the trade of commerce. That's what our people on our whenua have to know. The difference between the symbols, because the symbols speak louder than the words.
Yes.
So when you're dealing with this is not for us on the land. No, it's for trade and commerce.
That's right.
That's what it is. That's what's behind the judge.
That's Admiralty law.
And that's Admiralty law. That's how we know when I walk into a courtroom. That's why I always look for the symbol, so I know what courtroom I'm in and who I'm talking to. So I always look at the symbol. Oh yeah, okay, now I know what court I'm in. Okay, so we're in this, and that's the business.
Yeah,
so that's why it's important to know the symbols.
Okay.
So when you know that you're dealing with the trade of commerce, then you sort of know, well, okay, here we go. We're on this length. It's not something else. You know, it's not a real court of law. So, and the other thing is, the next one is the capitals.
Yes.
You know all about the capitals,
name,
all the capitals. Here in New Zealand, if I wrote you a letter, it would be in little letters. But if I built a building structure and I went to name it, I'd have to write it in capital letters. And
that's right.
And that would identify the building or the corporation.
Yes.
And so that capital letter there
is my business. Basically, that's your
business name. Yeah. The estate trust.
Yes,
okay. Because you're the beneficiary of that estate name, which is the family name.
I'm the principal of that estate.
Yeah. The beneficiary, all right, because there's benefits in it. The beneficiary, which makes you the principal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, yeah.
So the beneficiary and you are the principal and all that, and of that estate name, and they're just administrating the court. So that you know that part. But you'll notice this is that all these charges that they put out underneath this, they're all false. Why? Because they're not facts. They're not the true facts. If you have a look at what a police always does, it's always suspect.
Yeah, suspect.
Okay? It's always suspect.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So what happens on suspect, right? I'll tell you why you can't be arrested as a suspect, right? We go outside, a man's walking over there, and we go, hey, look, man, we suspect he's going to rob that house, let's arrest him. You can't. You can't arrest someone on a suspect. You can't suspect that he was going to commit a crime when the crime hasn't been committed. So there was no crime committed here. That's why it's only suspect. And those are the little things that we think. But I say to the judge, I go, hey, mate, it's only suspect. You know, no crime was really committed. It's only a suspect.
Why are they getting away with this behaviour?
Because we don't understand the words or the language or the symbols or the capitals, so we don't know what we're dealing with. Once you learn that symbol that we're dealing with trade commerce and not the real person, then we can highlight these certain things.
Okay.
And then understand it. And these are the things that you can point out to the judge, because it makes you aware of these certain things. Never mind all this other babble that's in there. It's only those few little things. Why is charge sheets and that never ever signed? Why?
That's right.
Because it's an automatic 2 years purgatory.
I have noticed these things.
Because it's a 2
year
year
purgatory. They are unsigned
purgatory.
documents. And I've confronted them about it. I said, excuse me, I need a name.
Okay, I'll tell you why. So now you know why. Now you can tell them why.
Because otherwise it's a criminal operation to me. Yep, carry on.
Exactly. But to tell them how it's a criminalised accusation, alright, is to tell them why they won't sign it. It's because it's an automatic 2 years imprisonment for perjury. On this, yes, that's why they don't sign it. So now you know why they don't sign. So when you point that to across, the reason why you don't sign these things is because you know it's an automatic 2 years perjury.
That's
and that's where you have your affidavit and say, if I ask you to write on this affidavit that you were this and that with your signature, you will not sign it because it's a 2 years perjury. That's why you don't sign it. That's what the piece of paper was in my hand.
Lawlessness.
This was the paper in my hand.
Yeah.
I know, but you're able to understand it. You're able to disarm it.
Yeah, that's right. That's what we want.
And now what we're seeing is that you're aware. That you're very aware of your surroundings, of what's going on. And that's what's called like coming out of possession of your mind and that, and being awoken to the reality of what it is. But these tricks weren't meant for us. They just got embedded on us. This is for foreigners and that come here and think they can do whatever they want. That's there to trick them. But we've been brought up that applies to us too, but it doesn't.
Yeah.
Because it's those little tricks.
Trade and commerce is
You
that truck
can't,
drivers.
you can't, there's with fucking any law.
Trade and commerce is truck drivers.
How in any law, anywhere
Working
around the
for
world, can you
the
be
corporation.
charged?
Yeah, yes, like
Under
the logging truck
suspect.
drivers taking
Yeah.
it to the port. Well,
I'll give you an example.
It's under the
I'll give you an
license.
example. I was down in at the Waikato, and at the back they got all these plants and natives and all that which make good rongoa medicine. So I was along there, picking along there, picking along, and this guy comes up and he says, "Hey mate, looking fucking." He tells me to get out of here, and I said, "What's going on, mate?" And he goes, "Oh mate, look, suspect, look like you're gonna rob the house." You know, like this. And I said, "Oh, bro, I'm picking fucking rongoa medicine." He says, "Oh, yeah, whatever, mate." And then I said, "Hey, boom," and I grabbed it and I showed him, "This is what I'm fucking picking, mate." So fuck off with your accusations, because that's what it's an exact accusation.
Yeah.
See, you thought I was trying to fucking rob a house, but in reality, I was picking medicine until I showed you. So no crime's been committed. So how can anything just be on a suspect? It doesn't make sense. Those things you got to say to the judge. It doesn't make sense, mate. You know?
Okay, yeah.
It doesn't make sense. And boom, the signatures, I know, the perjury. That's why they can't sign the affidavit. You get to the judge say, "This is why you can't sign the affidavit, because it stands the truth in the commerce of law, because of the symbol behind you. I know where I'm standing. I know what court I'm in." And this is and that's the difference between knowing that you're not trapped in that world of trying to form like this is the reality. It's coming out of that world and being awoken into something else that's not real.
Okay. Yes. Yeah.
So it's
fraudulent.
It's fraudulent. It's
That's
those
right.
sort of
Those
things.
are fraud.
I know, but this is how you show them that it becomes fraudulent. Because you're explaining to them the education of how you come about it. Because a lot of people get in there and say, "Oh, this and that," which is true, but they haven't seek the truth of how to disable it and break it down decipher it so that
because it's a code. You see,
exactly.
This is what I'm a pattern reader, and I want to decipher these codes.
I was going to be
their
real cheeky.
behaviour.
I was going to be real cheeky there. See there where it says first appearance?
Yeah.
I was going to be, they pissed me off over in the High Courts in New South Wales. So anyway, 16 people came in for court. I just go, "Bro, you want court today?" They said, "No, bro." I said, "Here, come with me." He said, "Look, on your thing it says that you must appear in court, right? But it doesn't say to participate because buildings don't talk." Okay, so anyway, grab that affidavit over here, right over here that you're at this courthouse on this date. Boom, now I said, "Take it up the register, get today's stamp and get them to file it." And I said, "Boom, now you can go home, bro. Because the proof is that you did appear in the court. I'm here.
That's right.
But I'm not going to participate because my buildings don't talk. That man up there is administrating my affairs." Hey,
That's right.
What, pull me in, yep, there's the commission, yep, do it, bro. But there's no charges on me, brother. You know, it's that simple.
Yes,
It is. So 16 people, and then one of the lawyers come up to me and she goes, "You can't do this in this court." I said, "Well, you shouldn't have pissed me off." Because they were trying to ignore what I was doing, but what they weren't, they were trying to, not ignoring what I was saying to them in these high courts and stuff like that, they were wrapping their heads around it, how to reflect it back in some other terms and put some other twist on it. But I wasn't going to have that nonsense. I was just being direct. This is fucking what it is, and boom. Like in the when I says, "Bro, your jurisdiction, bro," and he goes, "No, never mind, no, mate, that's what the bloody uniform's for, bro." Boom, like this, and that's a direct. I don't want to hear your fucking shit that it's not, bro. That's what the uniform is, bro. Yeah. You know, your head might not be, but the bloody uniform
they've had enough of their excuses, for their criminal activities.
Yeah, so I was thinking if
because
you
they're
wanted
broke. The other thing I want to, do you know that the police are about nearly $100 million in debt? Like the countries, they've all got their debt, so they are desperate. They want more people in prison. They want more business. We are just a business transaction.
Yeah, debt's another story, but debt's is a real good thing.
But that's ugly on on their side. To them, that is serious. They take debt seriously, because they like to make us and put us in debt.
Yeah, that's right.
But we're rich.
Okay, so on your affidavit, you need to write this, because every thing that was charged against you is against some sort of act, okay?
Yeah, that's right.
All right, if you look at any act, any of them, it says...
Criminal act
any act, it will say this in New Zealand, that the act binds the crown.
Yes,
okay.
I noticed that.
Now, you need to put in your affidavit,
I noticed that.
You need to prove that I am the crown so that I can be binded to your acts. Do you understand what I'm saying?
But who is the crown?
Exactly. So, the listen to what I'm saying. The act that they used on here binds the crown.
Yes.
Right? So they're calling you the crown?
No.
Exactly. Well, so they've got to prove who's the crown. Because that act only applies to the crown.
Yes, yeah.
Hey. So now they've got to provide you. So what you're asking them is that, hey, am I the Crown? Can you provide me proof of that I am the Crown, so that that act can bind me to that, what they're claiming. Do you understand?
Yes, yeah.
You need to write
so
that.
charge.
Yeah, because one bro's done it, and they wrote him letters and then it stopped.
Okay.
And that's what he did. He said to the on the police letters and stuff on the courts and that you need to can you please give me evidence of proof that I am the Crown and this act binds me to that Crown.
Yes.
Just by that. That's why I don't want that statement. Yes, it's very important.
Yeah.
Very important. Because at the end of it says this act binds the Crown, so she was done under whatever act like that, so that binds the Crown. So what are you saying? I'm the Crown. Yeah, okay.
Well, who
cool.
is the Crown?
Well, the police.
Well, they claim they are.
No, listen here. Here we go. No, here we go. I'll give it to you proper. Ready? Here we go.
No.
The police, New Zealand police, pledged their allegiance to the Crown, which is Queen Elizabeth.
Queen of England.
Okay, they pledged their allegiance there. The diamonds on top of her crown and all those jewels, all right, represent the people, all right? So the Crown alleges to the people that she calls the Commonwealth. That's why she says we, our, and us.
All right.
So they pledged their allegiance to the Crown, and the Crown alleged her allegiance to the Commonwealth of the people, which is us. But they don't teach you that because it empowers the people and depowers the Crown.
Okay,
so they don't teach you that. But that's the reality.
Yeah.
Ah, so the people want the Crown.
No. The people are the Commonwealth.
Yes,
who the Crown alleged their allegiance to, because those diamonds is what represents the people. So she pledges her allegiance to the people, which is the Commonwealth. Okay. So if the police are alleging there to the Crown, and the Crown is alleging to the people of the Commonwealth, well then that puts New Zealand police in as jurisdiction of the common law.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, it does. It does tie them into that, and they know that, but they don't teach us that or tell us that because it's depowering and empowering. Yeah. And that's the only little bit, but that's the reality of it. Hey, that's the reality. So you have to know that you're dealing with commerce by the symbol. Okay. When you stand there and talk and look at the symbol, you know what courtroom you're in, or what you're dealing with, and then that way there's the conducting going on and the kōrero from that part. Yeah.
Okay. So the act that binds the Crown. Within those acts.
Okay. So the act that binds the Crown
and the sections that binds the Crown.
So the act that got you the charge, right? Okay. The act that got you the charge. This is
the Health
Act.
It
says this.
1956.
The Health Act 1956. This act binds the Crown. That's what it says after the act. So if that was what was it? The Health Act
1956.
1956. That one there, and then it will have this act binds the Crown. So now you have to have that proof, right, that you are the Crown for that act to be bound to you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because that act only applies to the Crown. Okay, so now you have to ask for the proof. Well, you have to provide me proof that I am the Crown.
Where is the evidence that I am the Crown?
Yeah. Proof of evidence. Oh, I need proof of evidence.
Okay.
I need proof of evidence that I am the Crown, and then as the remedy, I will accept. Then I will accept if the proof or the evidence has been given to you that you are the Crown and that act does bind you. Because remember, the Crown pledges her allegiance to the people, which is what she calls the Commonwealth. That's what I was saying, the jurisdiction. So the Commonwealth is the people. We are part of that people. So therefore they work for us.
Under the common law.
We are the Commonwealth because we use our common sense. And therefore we have a common law for it. And it only needs 12 people on that to start a common law and stuff like that, because that's where the power does hold. It does hold in the people.
That's right.
Not in fucking one little muppet up in the show up there. Standing up there, bro. Your mount is up the wrong way, bro.
Yeah. So 70%
they built this look like that. All the people here and they stand here. Yeah, but see in tikanga, tino rangatiratanga, we're like this.
That's right.
We're down here and all the people are up here and we're serving them. And my stone even tells the story of it. That's why we're like that. There's people up here. That's me down there to serve.
Yeah.
Hey, so that's an honour of that, our tikanga, our tino rangatiratanga.
So what they've been doing... That's right. Yeah. Oh, I don't know about te tiriti, but
no, te tiriti, not the treaty, no. And that Te Tiriti, aye, because that's not a settlement, it's an honour.
The original, and that was the original.
Our settlements, for us, they
Understanding.
mean that they have to remain, they have to be honourable. That's what, and that where the Treaty of Waitangi and all that, they talk about settlements. But that the tiriti is about honouring. But the settlement is not about being paid off. It's just about remaining honour to your to your treaties. That's why that treaty doesn't exist. You know, they got nine versions, didn't they?
That's right.
Nine versions, you know,
No,
or
keep,
nine interpretations, because they
what
still cannot to this day interpretate it. You know what I mean? Because there's no words that can describe it, because that's what the English are built on. Language, words. That's all they own is the word. That's what they built themselves on. Like when they created the name Jimi Hendrix, they created that, so they owned Jimi Hendrix. They owned that name, but they didn't own that man.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So the English do own, and what they own is words, you know? But it was created by the Hebrew, Ashkenazis were Hebrew English, and gave them a sentence. So he brewed that English. That's why it's so tricky. One word's got three different things and all kinds of things. So it's a matter of, because if you go to the Oxford Dictionary and see the word person, it will describe me or us, right? But if I go to the Black's Law Dictionary and look at the word person, it'll describe a bloody building. So when you stand up in here, their language is not the same what they taught us in school.
Yeah, that's right.
But it's the words, when you look it up and get the definition of what the words are, then you start to understand the language of what they're talking about.
Yeah, well, you know the Ouija board.
That's why they get a lot of attorneys in there to overturn your power onto them, because you can't put it all in there because you don't know what the hell they're talking about.
Yeah.
I thought they said, I'm a person, but inside their building, and in their language, you're a building. Otherwise, we're people.
Yeah, that's right.
Just simple little tricks like that. And it's all in the language, so it's all in the spelling and all the spells. You know, so it's like reading a little bit of witchcraft, but I just see through it. I only see what I need to see. You know?
Okay. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
So they need to give you evidence that the act binds the crown. That's one part.
Yes.
Also, you need to know that you're dealing with the trade of commerce. Your all capital names is to the estate. You would also write that if they do, even though you got an ID that's Rangi Māria, and that it's not internationally recognised. So when they do call you by that name, Gina and stuff like this, you can reply, Gina is my given Christian name.
Hold on. Oh, sorry, you're coming to have a look at the room, guys. Okay, guys. Sorry, I'll be right there, guys.
Yeah, cool.
Here's the key.
These are the tricks in the trade of commerce. What was I just talking about a second ago? So what did my given Christian name is, and then you write what your mother named you on your birth certificate. Yep. And when you finish, is my given Christian name.
Which is your true Māori. This is why it's important too.
You know when you were born, your mum gave you a name. That was your first given Christian name.
That's my Māori for us. You know, the old law in Māori was.
Well, as long as that's
your
on
Māori
your,
name,
as long as that's on your birth certificate, and that's what mum named you, then that was your first given Christian name. So this is how you're answering or complying or talking back when you're in the trade of commerce and stuff like that.
Yes,
and all that. So you just
you introduce yourself.
And that, because people they will call and say. Like me, when Lynden Meier is born, so I stood up and I said, Lynden is my given Christian name, and Meier is the all capital estate name. So therefore I'm the beneficiary of that estate as the principal. I am the principal. Because it's all based on principles, because what they're saying is that we're idiots and we've got no principles. We've got principles on how to live on this land. We all got principles, you know what I mean?
I can send you a video of this anyway.
So we're going to, because what we want to do is we want to take this and use it for teaching other people. Is that what you're doing with that material?
It does get sent out.
Copying it for, where is it?
Oh, for my learning.
Oh, for you. That's
learning.
good. That's good, yeah.
But
I
will send
another thing here.
I will send you to the
another
video.
thing here. All right. Yeah. Another thing here in New Zealand. See that little symbol? See it, bro? The little S with the stick.
Oh, yeah.
See that?
Yep.
That's another thing to keep an eye on. See that? That S with the stick.
Yeah, that's the dollar sign.
All right. In New Zealand, on our whenua, all right. That symbol is not recognised here.
Right.
by us.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Our symbol is like it's like this. Look, it goes like this. Look, it curls around like that. It's got a line, and it's currency.
Oh my gosh.
And
yeah.
it's currency, and because all seas flow to New Zealand,
Which
all
is
currents
the
flow
cent.
here.
You know, the old dollar 1 cent.
Yeah, so
we
the
used to do
currency,
that, see?
yeah, the currency is which way the seas flow, the currents of the sea. So our symbol is the currency. That symbol there is belongs to I don't know, fucking these guys, I think.
Yeah.
But we don't
Oh my
recognise that, and
gosh.
we don't know that. See, the reason why they put it
Yeah.
in numbers or try to use decibels or whatever the fucking they want to use, at the end of the day, tangata whenua and that, we have to have it in writing. So remember, you used to write on the old checks, you write the words.
Yes.
Yes,
yeah.
well, nothing's changed, still like that. You go and do a withdrawal from the bank, and you write down, I'd like to withdraw that, and they'll write it out in words.
Yeah.
They're not thinking, because our currency is that, because our currency is money. So,
Yes.
okay, so money in New Zealand means gold, or less other precious metals like silver and bronze, copper and all that, that have been stamped. So our dollar coins and all that have been stamped and all that, that's known as money, and it's about the trade of the metals that are in that money.
That's right.
And that's our currency. So all that's another hope you want to highlight that. So we don't understand that. And if you understand that inside their world, then they've got you. But when you understand the terms of currency and stuff like this,
Yeah.
to me I'm saying, what are you asking for, mate? You want? I go, what's that? You know? Oh, come on, mate. That's the dollar, bro. We don't here in New Zealand we don't roll on dollars, bro. And you know that because you can't use that word inside a bank.
Yeah.
You know, you have to use the words money because that's the language. That when you go into the bank, see the korero changes there too.
Yeah.
See, so every time you go into these corporations, you have to have the korero. Yes, and
Of
each
trading,
building you have
eh?
their own korero.
Yeah, of
Yes.
trading, the
And
different
then,
ways
so
of
it's about going
trading.
into their world, knowing their korero, and then
Oh
stepping
my
out of
gosh.
it. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
then stepping
yeah.
back from out of that world. And then go, it's like us when we go into the marae, te reo, boom, only those that can understand that reo in there get the picture or get the story.
Yes,
You know?
yeah, that's
So it's
right.
the same thing for us, same with the European side of things, you know?
Yeah, hold on.
So anyway, these things here are what can be argumentative.
Yeah.
These things can be argumentative or put out towards the judge, which would make you not guilty. Say, look, no, you're not guilty.
Well, she's not guilty on
Well-
all these. Yeah.
No, because it's only a No, this is important.
That's because she's a suspect.
It's only a suspect of a crime. You know?
They're suspecting her
You're expecting
of
me of
doing
committing
the
a
crime.
crime. Yeah, but there was no crime committed.
But there's no crime. Yeah.
Because they'll say, oh,
Basic to me.
because they'll say you were driving your car.
Yeah.
That's what they say. But in reality,
No, she was
that-
travelling.
That's not my car.
Well,
No, that's not my car. That car doesn't belong to me. It belongs to the government.
and it does, eh?
It does. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's not my property. No. You want to steal the fucking, you want to take the assets or whatever from the estate name, but please yourself, help yourself, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Make sure you give me something. I don't want to bog you down and cut you little.
So if the car was under the PPSR, they couldn't pull her over.
No. Because that's not their property.
Yeah.
But these are tricks in understanding the contract that's been put out in front of you, is understanding those simple little things.
Yeah.
You know, because this, I'm dealing with the trade of commerce. Boom, capital names means I'm dealing with my estate name or asset name. Of this, it's only a suspect that boom, so it's a suspect. All acts bind the crown, and that now I need proof that I am the crown, so that act can bind me.
Yeah.
All right. Signatures and all that, not signed and all that, because it's a 2 years automatic perjury in the trade of commerce under this symbol. Boom, that's why they don't. But where they so these don't miss these little things.
Yeah.
Another thing on that appearance and that's just where I have fun, where I just show up in court, write affidavit. Yeah, I was here, and then I say see you later. Well, I did appear. And I did exactly what it said. It doesn't say to participate. Why? Because when you're in here, the all capital names is a building that doesn't, or in the state, if they don't talk, they got no soul. You know?
Yeah.
So I can't talk.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry guys, I just got this guy that's coming to have a quick look in the kitchen.
There you go.
Yep, you'll
Might
look.
move in the other room. Just have a look in there for the kitchen. So you
The other room.
3 cans.
And stuff like that. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
And
all.
a lot of the brothers, bro, they've got like heart conditions and
Oh,
got
right.
conditions going into it, bro. So
That's
could
it.
could make things
It's
worse
just
for them,
finishing
so
them
they're
off,
quite
eh?
weak.
Yeah, finishing them off, and it's like, no
And
way.
then,
Who
that
wants
same
to be a
excuse,
child?
oh, he's already.
But it's the
already had-
fear. It's the fear, eh, bro. Like this is how the corporation works. If you want to work in this building, then these are the rules.
Yes, sir.
You know.
Yeah.
But at the same time, those people that have been there for so long, their fear is like, where's my next meal going to come from?
Yeah,
And that's the fear of that unknown.
Yes,
Hey,
Yeah.
when all day long, all the power belongs to the people and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
you know that's how it's going to win. But in a sense of reality of how our jurisdictions, all the stats and that work on our whenua, that building has every right. So if you had a building and you own a company, all your rules that apply within that
Yeah.
and all that standards, your son, that's what you want, boom, like that. You'll only allow whatever you want to come in, and you have every right to.
Yes.
See, and that's the same with our working corporations and stuff like that. It's the same thing and stuff like that. So we're just putting in for a system and shit like that. For people like that, where we cut out wins and that, and there's a source documents and stuff like that that we're applying for and stuff like that. They haven't come back. Yours come back?
Not yet, but I've got the email.
Yeah, well, probably because they haven't been in office.
So you're saying
So
cut
that
your
will-
wins? What do you
it
mean by
cuts-
cut?
Well, because the inland revenue of where our inheritance has been put
Yeah,
into
yes.
inland revenue, and that
Yeah.
there has been administrated by WINS. That's what
That's
they give
right.
us.
Yeah.
Boom.
That's
So
right.
on a weekly payment, what we do with these certain documents, these 3 documents, and that we just send away from them. And when we got those, that'll sort it up, and then we'll take that to internal affairs, inland revenue,
That's
and
right.
that. And
So inland revenue
yeah.
holds, that's all our land money.
yeah, our
so
land
what
money.
we're really getting
what
Yeah.
they,
is land
yeah,
money.
so,
Yeah.
but what
And
these
that's the
documents,
bullshit
what
that's
these
going
documents
on.
and that
What
will
they
allow
owe
us to
us.
do
What
on a
they
weekly
owe us.
payment is give us 1,600 a week, and there's heaps of people, heaps of brothers and sisters up home that are getting that amount at the moment.
But
So
they
that gives you
can't pay it out
$1,600 a
by
week
the
to stay
millions,
home
so
with
they
your
have to-
family.
Yeah,
But that's not
They rate
you.
and
That's
rape it first.
anyone
Yeah.
over the age of 18.
So that
Yeah,
we've
yeah.
got
And
nothing.
that it's you and your
We've
missus.
lost the land.
And it has nothing
We
to
are
do
better
with
off
wins
dead
or
under this
how many
system.
partners
You're
or anything
worth
that
your
you got,
weight
as long
in
as that
gold,
you're
like
born
when you're
here.
dead body.
That is our
And that's what
entitlement.
these
So these
mongrels
papers
are.
And the heavier you
have
were
come
when
through
you were
and
born,
that we've
That's what
apparently
the
it's
weight,
better.
yeah, that's
And I
what
was
the
a
weight
heavy
when you're a
boy.
baby.
So that's cutting off the wins.
Me too.
I think I was 11 pounds. Yeah, yeah.
It's all
So we're
about
saying,
that.
oh no, here we're
Exactly.
done with the field, we don't need to be administrated anymore like this because we've got our paperwork here, we can administrate it ourselves, and so they give us a punch of 1,600 a week, and there's no question asked, they just feed it.
Yeah, we want to get out of this
Hey.
system.
Well,
A
yeah,
week, bro, to stay home with your
the
family.
boys arrange it.
Māori battalions, eh?
Federal
We're part of the
Ranger,
Māori
bro.
battalion.
Yeah, we just did a video and that
We're
I
doing the same
showed us
walk.
the total on the jurisdiction of the police and that. And that's just a 26-hour video, yeah. Well, fucking in minutes, bro, went viral and like 7,000 plus views.
Yeah, no, it's
fucking massive,
powerful.
because I just waltzed into the
Yeah,
police
no, I was
station.
about to be arrested. There were 4 police cars around. He just pulled up, you know, and then he turned up and put them in their place and
Yeah.
disempowered them. And no, this has got to happen.
Did you
I'm
see
how
that
do we
video
do
too,
anyway?
bro?
So we're here to
How
get
do we-
trained on how to do it.
How do we do?
Just, did you see
Anyway,
your-
this is Lynden Meier.
Did you see your thing
Tell
to
you to
your bro?
remember that name.
Did you
Hey?
see that video to your bro? That you both know?
No, he's on the mount side,
Oh,
but
yeah,
I'm on
yeah.
the turtle side. But I sent it to Ants.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, NT.
Yeah.
Yeah, have a look at his page and or that video of Tilly's might pop up mine and Tilly's
Yeah.
video, and then you have a look and stuff like that. But there's just chucking him back in jurisdiction and sitting him down, and then fucking walking away with the person, and that because she was under arrest. You know, you take a piece of fucking machinery, you have every right to because they're entitled to it.
Just the police
And that-
tried to arrest
but,
her.
But I took
Yeah,
the
yeah.
currency
And
down,
there was-
and
there's
she
a
came
whole
back.
heap
For
of
no
them.
reason.
And
Now
the
we're
road to
looking at the
Sun.
paper forms.
Yeah.
No reason they needed to do that.
Yeah.
So we got it all on video, and we want to, we want to get these buggers out.
Well, it's very, you know, well, it is because when all the, it is because what happens is this is where the glory comes from. This is where the victory is. That when you think out all those things like that, right, and the judge says case dismissed, right? Now you know. That's the ultimate power right there. Why? Because when you step out of it, the next time anything that happens, right, it has to follow suit. It has to reflect dismissed. Sooner or later, they say, you know what, we can't make these claims off her like that. Look, just leave it. Get those for other ones out there. and that's how it wins off, and that's how you get recognised throughout these systems.
Okay.
And
Yes.
that took, boom, and that's how you get, I'm fucking High Courts Australia, everything, bro. 5 judges, 7 cops, bro, 1 detective, bro. Straight up, bro, it was massive. Challenge them all on and all that. But see this here in Waka Putanga, now
Challenge
there's
them.
authority
Yeah,
over
winners.
military and all that. And so if any police acts or any of those agents in that act against us, it will be taken as an act of treason against the multi-battalion and military armies of throughout New and all that, through the whole of New Zealand and through the Tika or Maori,
There's
and all that,
actually
which was established here
Maori.
before this New Zealand and
That's
everything
right.
else was
Tika
established.
Maori
So
is our
we're here,
original
and our backing is all the
Tika
United
Maori.
Nations of all world armies, bro. And that's what this is under. And that, so on that video in that you see how I put the police back into their jurisdiction because my authority is higher. And all like that, and that's this was only just the other day. Yeah, it was a big fucking thing that caused a big scene and shit like that, bro, and I just got diffused it.
Now we're just diffusing the paperwork they
So
gave
now,
you.
so now we're just now I'm just
And this is
advertising of
justice.
how to read these sort of things properly and why they don't do this and that, so that when you present it to the judges and stuff like this, they know that you're aware of it and that you're really dealing with the trade of commerce and stuff like that. It's not real, and then they dismiss the cases
And they've been
because
preying
you
on
become aware
illiterate
of
people.
what you're actually talking to
That's
and what
right.
it's about. So yeah.
And that document
Because
there,
it's a crime, eh? It's fraudulent. So, if you have a look at the video, you'll notice that on the first scene and that, you've got her in her car, and you've got the police and that, they've got it blocked off, boom, signs, everything going. The first thing is that is only supposed to occur, right, to a truck driver or someone that's transporting or exporting down to the harbour, alright? Because the vehicle is a transportation for export,
So
right?
it's trade of
A
commerce.
driver's license is exactly what you have in your pocket, right? If you look up the definition on the Black's Law Dictionary of what a driver's license means, it means a paid employee. So someone that drives trucks or taxis or even someone that gets paid for driving needs a
Yeah.
driver's license. So they tricked you into taking their driver's license so that they can fine you, bro.
Yeah.
Because you were unaware of that. No,
That's
bro,
what
I'm
it
not
is.
a paid employee, bro. I don't need that. Yeah. And see, and we got the driver's license, boom, and that's why they always ask for that. And so, and that. So in the trade of commerce, which is their fucking symbol there, right? The first thing I should have seen was a fucking logging truck or a truck with containers on it. Because that's what the job prescription is.
Or a bus.
And all that, what we saw there was
Going to the
tyranny
ports.
and that thing in her about her name and it's this other bullshit that goes into it and stuff like that. So the whole thing was a misconduct in that they were conducting the wrong thing and that they were claiming it off the name. But inside their heads, they thought that they've forgotten about it, and you'll see it in the video how I remind them and then stand them down to do their job. So what they did was create a fucking scene, and then it was an act of what would you harassment, probably like full on, because it was supposed to be a truck with logs or a truck with containers, not your normal person sitting in the car. Those are the rules for our land. On our land. That stuff there applies to fucking commerce. We went in the trade of commerce in that, because they'll always say passenger, alright? When you're cruising with your family or your bros, it becomes whānau, and by changing that one word, you can't be charged for it. You had passengers, they weren't passengers, they were family, they were my whānau, and the court can't process because it needs that word. Because that's part of the spelling, the spells of the spell of the tricks of the words.
It's all by the
Government
words they
processes
use.
the words. So it's the trickery of the words.
To us, we wouldn't even be allowed.
Exactly, because we couldn't think of such a we couldn't think
Or
such
don't
a
know it
because
until you're awoken.
well we can't fathom the thought of something so evil.
Yeah.
You know, we
that's
couldn't
right.
think of
We're
something so
innocent
evil.
people.
Yeah.
So we go, what? You know?
We are,
Happening to everyday
This is a
people.
cult
Yeah.
language.
Normal
Yeah.
people.
It's a
People
language.
getting banged for a lot of